In 2017, United Airlines had a passenger dragged off a plane, bloodied, screaming, because they sold a seat they didn't have. That video got 100 million views. People were outraged. Congress held hearings, and then absolutely nothing changed. Because here's what nobody told you. Overbooking is not a mistake. It is not a glitch. It is a deliberate, government-tolerated revenue strategy that U.S. airlines have used since the 1970s, and by the end of this video, you will never look at a boarding pass the same way again. Here is the official story. Airlines overbook because passengers don't show up. Simple as that. On any given flight, somewhere between 10 and 20% of ticket holders never board. They miss connections, they cancel last minute, they just don't come. An empty seat on a departed flight generates $0. So airlines say we're just protecting ourselves from losses. That sounds reasonable. It almost sounds sympathetic. But that explanation leaves out the most important part, the part where they turn passenger inconvenience into a profit center. Here is exactly how overbooking works. When you buy a ticket, you are not actually guaranteed a seat. You are purchasing what the airline calls a contract of carriage, a legal document that most people never read, and buried inside that document is language that allows the airline to deny you boarding even if you paid full price, arrived on time, and did everything right. Every major U.S. carrier has this clause. Delta, American, United, Southwest, all of them. The mechanism goes deeper than that. Airlines use proprietary algorithms built on decades of historical flight data to calculate exactly how many extra tickets they can sell on each route without triggering a mass bumping event. A 2021 MIT study found these systems predict passenger behavior with up to 90% accuracy. They know your route, they know the season, they know whether it's a holiday weekend, they know how many business travelers booked refundable fares versus tourists on discount tickets. They model all of it, and then they deliberately sell more seats than exist with surgical precision. So who built this system and why? The practice became standard in the United States after airline deregulation in 1978. Before that, the federal government controlled ticket prices and routes. After deregulation, airlines competed on price, and suddenly every empty seat was a direct hit to the bottom line. Overbooking wasn't invented by one executive at one company. It spread industry-wide because it worked. The International Air Transport Association estimated that without overbooking, airlines would lose approximately $3 billion per year globally to no-show passengers. That number became the justification, the algorithm became the tool, and passengers became the variable. Here is where it gets infuriating. The Department of Transportation does require airlines to compensate passengers who are involuntarily bumped. The current rules say that if your delay is between 1 and 2 hours on a domestic flight, you get 200% of your one-way fare, capped at $775. If the delay is more than 2 hours, that doubles to 400%, capped at $1,550. That sounds like protection. But the DOT's own data tells a different story. In 2022, U.S. airlines involuntarily bumped roughly 43,000 passengers. That number sounds big until you realize those same airlines carried 853 million passengers that year. The bump rate is less than 0.1%. So the compensation rule almost never triggers at scale, and when it does, the airline pays out a fraction of what it earned by overselling in the first place. And there's a tactic airlines use before it ever gets to involuntary bumping. They ask for volunteers. Before the gate agent announces an overbooked flight, the airline offers travel vouchers, usually between $200 and $800 in flight credit, to anyone willing to give up their seat. Most people take the voucher. They feel like they won something. But here's what they don't tell you. That voucher is not cash. It expires. It has blackout dates. It can only be used on that same airline. And the airline just avoided paying you the mandatory cash compensation they would have owed you if they bumped you involuntarily. That voucher swap saves them money every single time. Let's talk about what this actually costs real people. A bumped passenger on a connecting international flight can miss a cruise departure, a wedding, a job interview. In 2019, a family in Florida was bumped from a Spirit Airlines flight and missed the first 2 days of a Disney World vacation they had saved for over a year. Spirit offered a $200 voucher. The hotel they couldn't cancel cost them $400. The math doesn't work for the passenger. It works perfectly for the airline. Now, here is what you can do. First, always book the earliest flight of the day. Airlines cannot bump you onto a later flight that doesn't exist yet. Early morning flights have lower overbook rates because there's less recovery time in the schedule. Second, check in the moment check-in opens, usually 24 hours before departure. Seat assignment plus early check-in makes you far less likely to be the person left behind. Third, if you are involuntarily bumped, do not accept a voucher without asking for cash first. Under DOT regulations, you are legally entitled to cash compensation, a check or direct deposit, not just credit. Airlines are not required to tell you that. Ask specifically. Fourth, if the airline says the flight is oversold and asks for volunteers, ask what they're offering before you raise your hand. The first offer is almost never the best offer. Now, here is the final fact, the one I saved for last because it is the most specific and the most infuriating detail in this entire story. United Airlines Flight 3411, April 9, 2017, the flight wasn't even overbooked in the traditional sense. The airline needed to transport 4 of their own crew members to Louisville. They asked for volunteers. Nobody took the offer. So they used a computer algorithm to select which paying passengers to remove. The algorithm chose doctor. David Dow, a 69-year-old physician who said he had patients to see the next morning. Security was called. He was physically dragged down the aisle. United's initial public response from CEO Oscar Munoz called Dr. Dow disruptive and belligerent. The stock dropped 4% in 2 days, erasing nearly $1 billion in market value. United settled with Dr. Dow for an undisclosed amount, and then they kept overbooking. Follow this channel. We post the real reason behind everyday things every single day.